Hello, my name is Last Stand of Mystery Man, and this is my WWE Night of Champions 2023 review. And I think before I get into my Night of Champions review, I think I should probably mention that, as you can notice, this is my first video in in 6 days. Because my last video was actually more, because my last video was last Monday. And this is my first video since then, so this is my first video in 8 days, because, why have I not made a video in 8 days? I just like to say that a lot, that I was, kind of, I was trying to organize my room a little bit, after I moved. So the time just sort of kind of got away from me, and I just didn't really have the time to do it. Also, last week, if I would have reviewed The Bold and Beautiful, I would have been just saying the same stuff I would have been saying the same stuff I've been saying for the past month. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I didn't have time to do the General Hospital reviews, because I actually didn't have time to watch General Hospital at all. I watched some of it, but I was mostly trying to organize my room doing that, So I just really didn't have the time or the energy or the energy to do it. So I took a week off, and I think it was really good, because I kind of felt myself getting kind of stale and kind of repeating myself over and over again. So I was like, by Wednesday, I was like, let me take a week off. Let me come back Tuesday better than ever. And here I am, and I feel re-energized. I feel ready to re-energized, and I feel ready to go. Am I gonna review today's episode of Bold and Beautiful? Who knows? Possibly not, depending on whether or not this is boring or not. But I will review an episode at some point. So getting into Night of Champions from Saturday, I think Night of Champions as a whole is a good show. And it's in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and I definitely don't want to bring up anything political into these videos, because I don't know exactly how everybody feels about it, and I'm not going to try to sit here and try to push my values onto anybody. Absolutely not. That's never what I want to do. So that doesn't have nothing to do with this video. I just wanted to make that clear. But first, I would like to say, how was everybody Memorial Day yesterday? Did everybody have a good Memorial Day? I would like to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. I had hamburgers, so Memorial Day, America, hamburgers. It's a very special day. It's a very special day. That's also why I can't review The Bold and Beautiful from yesterday, because I didn't watch it, because I was like, I don't want my Memorial Day to be ruined. I ruined my Tuesday, and I did. So I saw seeing that, maybe I'll review it. Who knows? So getting into this pay-per-view, Premium Live Event. That's the new name. Premium Live Event. The first ever WWE Night Champions Premium Live Event. So the first match on the card was for the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship. Well, as you know, this is not the inaugural World Heavyweight Championship, because that was in 2002, which was a redone of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which used to be the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. It's a very confusing lineage if you're not a wrestling fan. I know one time I tried to explain to somebody, and they was horribly confused. I'm like, it's not that confusing once you figure it out. So this is the new inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. It was on Monday Night Raw, Seth freaking Rollins taking on Friday Night SmackDown, the OC's AJ Styles. OC Too Sweet, yeah. That's still a thing. Somehow Bullet Club is still a thing in 2023. Wow. Anyways, so this match was a great match, honestly. A great match. I think it was a very interesting choice by Triple H to have the first match be for the World Heavyweight Championship. But then as we get further into the show and we get to the main event, we know why this match was first. I mean, it was a great match. Was there some things I liked? Was there some things I disagree with? Yes, absolutely. I am a wrestling fan, so critiquing these people is kind of my job, and I'm kind of reviewing it, so I'm kind of critiquing. But it was a great match. Quite frankly, it was an amazing match. I loved most about it. Do I think 20 minutes? Do I think 20 minutes and 40 seconds was a bit too long? I don't think so, because it didn't feel long. Sometimes when there's a match that goes on for 20 plus minutes, you're like, oh my god, it's taking forever. Is this match ever going to end? But I feel it ended puff. I feel like it ended great. Like Boatman did great. AJ Styles is of course phenomenal. Seth freaking Rollins is great. He's super over with the crowd. I mean, this match was like the easiest match to guess who was gonna win because Seth freaking Rollins is on Monday Night Raw and AJ Styles is on SmackDown. So why would this guy from SmackDown win Monday Night Raw's World Heavyweight Championship? Which apparently they did it because of something to do with the NBA, I guess. They want to lose to the NBA, I guess, in the finals. Because I saw that's what hold on. Yeah, that's what Dave Meltzer said. Something to do with the fact that they didn't want to lose to the NBA final. I mean, you're going to lose to the NBA regardless, WWE. I don't know what you thought that was going to help, But Seth freaking Rollins defeated AJ Styles to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. And before I get into that, my thoughts on that, I think this match was great. I loved everything about it. I love most things about it. I loved the finish when he did the pedigree. I'm like, oh god, please don't win with the pedigree. Come on. I know Triple H is in charge, but don't make us go back to Seth Rollins' finishing move being the pedigree. Because anytime you see the pedigree, you immediately think of Triple H. So thankfully he kicked it. I was so happy. I wanted Seth Rollins to win, but I have never been so happy to see a man kick out of a move before. And then he won with the stomp, 1, 2, 3. I love the celebration with Triple H raising his hand. Michael Cole brought up how close the two was aligned in NXT. The one thing I wish we could have gotten a bit more of was maybe possibly Corey Graves being the one to say that. Because Corey Graves, before he was a commentator, he was a actual legitimate professional wrestler in NXT. Former NXT Tag Team Champions with Adrian Neville, now known as AEW's Pac. So I wish he could have brought. I wish maybe we could have got some more of that. Maybe Corey Graves could have said, I was in NXT when Seth Rollins became the inaugural NXT champion, and here we are, 11 years later, and Seth freaking Rollins is now the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. But they did say inaugural. They kept saying new, which made me think that this was a continuation of the old one, but it's not. Because it is a new separate belt. So now WWE has two different versions of the World Heavyweight Championship. And getting into design, I mean, it looks like the big gold belt, but it's not. But it's like the big gold belt annoying, kind of like the big gold belt, like young anti-teenage son. Like it's kind of like the big gold belt teenage son who hasn't fully grown up yet, but somehow is the final design of the belt. I mean, you got a big giant WWE logo. Like, I get what they was going for. I do, in a sense, that they wanted a big WWE logo because apparently they think that's perfect. Immediately, it's WWE. I mean, I don't get that. Why would you? Of course, you would see a big gold belt is synonymous to WCW, but if you see the big gold belt, you're gonna think WWE because WWE owns WCW. No one's really gonna think of the NWA anymore. Because when you think of the NWA, you think of the 10 pounds of gold now. At least I do, because that's the only NWA belt I ever knew. I didn't even know the World Heavyweight Championship big gold belt was even a design of the NWA until I was like 6 years, until my grandpa told me when I was 5. But the design of the belt, I like it. Do I wish it was the big gold belt? Absolutely. I think they could have brought back the big gold belt design and just made it the exact same belt, fixed it up a little bit, to give it the changing side plates that they have to do on every belt now for some stupid reason. But more so than that, you could have just had the same design and didn't you put a big giant WWE logo on it. I could have worked, but it's like the Brew Universal Championship. Like the Brew Universal Championship is much better than the Web. That Web one was horrible. That Web one was a terrible design. I hated that belt the minute I saw it. Literally, Mick Foley, Stephanie McMahon unveiled it. I was like, well, this sucks. This is stupid. This is just the WWE Championship, but now it's red. Really? That's the best you could come up with? Why didn't they come up with like a belt that was like a... Like, why wasn't the belt would have been better if it was a giant U with the WWE logo coming out of it. I don't know how that would so much work as a belt design, but it would have been better. And then, of course, Finn Balor got injured the first right before he won it, so that didn't help with the belt. And then Brock Lesnar did all his stuff with it, but now Roman Reigns is held it for 1,000 days. But I'll get into that later. So this was a phenomenal match, pardon the pun, but my thoughts on Seth freaking Rollins as the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion. I think it makes sense, honestly. It makes a lot of sense, honestly. Seth freaking Rollins as the first inaugural World Heavyweight Champion on Monday Night Raw makes a lot of sense. I think he should be champion for a long time. I think it's very interesting now with Money in the Bank coming up, the Royal Rumble coming up, all of this stuff, all of these things coming up. How that's all gonna work now? Because before it was you would pick between the two people. But due to the fact that they said this is the Workhorse Championship, does that mean Roman Reigns' defenses are going to be even more far in between? That means Roman Reigns' defenses are going to be even more far in between. Now he can defend it against anyone he wants to now. Because everybody who wins anything can just catch in on Seth Rollins, even if you're on SmackDown. But maybe I get that when I do my Raw review. But this was a phenomenal match. The next match was Trish Stratus defeating Becky Lynch with the help of Zoe Starks. 14 minutes and 50 seconds. I don't have much to say on this match because I kind of watched it. I mean, I like women's wrestling, but it's really not my forte precisely. Not because I think women can't wrestle. Absolutely not. Some of my favorite wrestlers of all time are women's. Absolutely, I love women's wrestling. I was a big Becky Lynch fan in 2019, but it's just that it's gotten to the point where they're on the show, but they're just sort of kind of annoying because they try to hammer home the fact that these are women and the fact that these are women's wrestlers and the fact that this is supposed to be great. Even though they kind of even though the women's tag team division is horrible, but other than that, this was a fairly decent match. Zoe Stark I don't have much to say. Now to the next match. I actually love this match mainly because it ended that way it was supposed to. But this should be fun. WWE for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, not the champion. For the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of the modern era, the Wing General, the Imperium Leader, Walter. I'm not calling him Gunther. I refuse to call him that. I'm sorry, it sounds stupid. I'm not calling him Gunther. I know that's his name, but I'm sticking with Walter. And if you think that's stupid, I'm sorry, I'm sticking with Walter. I might say Gunther on an occasion or two if I'm just reading it, but most of the time I'm going to say Walter, mainly because Gunther sounds stupid, and I don't want to say it. So, Walter defeated Mustafa Ali. And this was a great match, honestly, because it ended that way it was supposed to. Mustafa Ali got beaten by Walter, absolutely. Walter is phenomenal. He's great. Great champion. He lost a ton of weight. I would love to know his workout plan because I could sure use that workout plan. But I did lose a bunch of weight because I moved, but I did gain some of it back. Yeah, but this was a great match. Walter is phenomenal. He just chopped Mustafa Ali, and I think Mustafa Ali is like of Arab descent, so that's kind of like he got a push here because they can't use Mansoor anymore because it's his gimmick now that he's a model, so they can't really use him in this spot anymore, so they got to go with the next Arab guy they got. The Intercontinental Championship is back on Raw. It's so funny to think, but the WWE Championship is on SmackDown. The United States Championship is on SmackDown. The Intercontinental Championship is on Raw, and the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship is on Raw. This is basically just 2003 all over again. This is 2003, but in 2023, it's 20 years later. Granted, we're completely different people, but still. Great match, a great 8 minutes and 35 seconds. I don't think anybody thought Mustafa Ali was going to win, but if he did, good for you. The next match. I'm just gonna read this, and you tell me tell me how you feel about it, because this match. For the WWE Raw Women's Championship, Friday Night SmackDown's Asuka defeated WWE Raw Women Friday Night SmackDown, the EST of WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Raw Women's Championship is exclusive to SmackDown somehow. Don't ask me how that happened. I think it's stupid too. Especially since Bianca Belair was gonna lose it. Why couldn't she lose it to a Raw person? Why couldn't Asuka win it and then Asuka get drafted and then it goes, okay, Asuka is now being drafted to Monday Night Raw and Rhea Ripley is being drafted to SmackDown, but she's gonna still be in the Judgment Day. It's just that she's gonna be exclusive to SmackDown. Or you could change the name of the belts. Or I don't know, you could unify them. Or something. I don't know. This is stupid. But it was an okay match. I don't know. It was the same match they had at WrestleMania. And that match was okay. But that match wasn't nothing to write home about. That was a fairly decent, average, Bears to great match. But I did love the spot where she tried to miss Asuka, where she tried to miss Bianca Belair, but she missed, and she then did it with her hand, which I've never actually seen before. But when you think about it, there's a great way to mix somebody. You know, that is a great way to do it. I hope she does that more. Maybe not now that everybody knows, but Asuka is now the Raw Women's Champion, but she's also on SmackDown. Like, at the very least, I understand everybody think the belt switching thing is stupid, and I don't disagree with that, but at this point, just switch the belts. Just switch the belts at this point. Asuka's only been Raw Women's Champion for like a day and a half, since Saturday, so Sunday, Monday. She's been champion for 3 days since Tuesday, so just switch the belts. Just switch the belts already. And this was a 15 minutes of a match. My thoughts on Asuka as Raw Women's Champion, I like it. I would like Asuka to be. I think Asuka could finally be good as a champion with Triple H as a booker because he did do whole legendary undefeated streak in NXT as NXT Women's Champion. But this is never going to be that good received by me because it makes no sense. But I guess we'll see what happens. The next match was 1 minute and 10 seconds. I'm going to tell you the entirety of what happened in the match. Okay. Rhea Ripley's entrance, Natalya's entrance. Dominic Mysterio was there. He ran past Rhea Ripley. Oh no, he was chased by Natalya. Natalya got in the ring, was powerbombed by Rhea Ripley. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. But she's on Monday Night Raw, the Judgment Day. Yeah, so that makes sense. Don't ask me, I don't get it either. But yeah, so that was I don't have much to say about the match. It wasn't much of a match. It was more so of a kind of like a burial in a sense. It was like 1, 2, 3. You think they could have had a great match. Natalya's great. Rhea Ripley's great. I think her and Dominic Mysterio. I think the whole Judgment Day as a whole is just stupid and boring, but people seem to like it. But I have nothing to say about that. The sixth match was Brock Lesnar defeating Cody Rhodes by technical submission in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. And I don't think any of us understood. I don't think most people understood why these two was fighting. But then Wade Barrett kind of gave us an excuse of, Brock Lesnar was upset with Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes was the main event and of night 2, and Brock Lesnar was in the opening match against Omos. Like, no offense to Omos, he seems like a great guy, and I hope someday they do something great with him. But Brock Lesnar, do you really think your match against Omos was gonna main event? Isn't Brock Lesnar the one who whole thing was in 2019? If I'm not the main event of WrestleMania, I'm gonna be in the opening match just to get it done and over with. Like that's literally what Paul Heyman said at WrestleMania 35 when he came out to Hulk Hogan's music, which is the funniest sight, which is one of the funniest thing I've ever seen. I remember watching that live and hearing "I am a real American," and here comes Paul Heyman just bolting to the ring basically. And I'm like, this is the funniest / weirdest / greatest, one of the greatest things I have ever seen in my life. It's just that was like his whole thing because they thought he was going to the UFC back or something with Dana White. So I don't know. I thanks Wade. I guess that makes sense. I don't know why you couldn't go. You know what, Cody Rhodes? I don't really like you. You used to work for another company. So you know what? I want to beat you up. But I think this feud is a feud that didn't have a reason to start, but through the two matches, but throughout the two matches, they've kind of built up a feud. Like this is a feud that has been built in by two matches. Instead of the feud building up to the match, the matches have been building up to the feud. This was a great match. Honestly, I liked it a lot. Cody Rhodes, of course, had a broken arm, and Triple H had this weird sit-down talk with him, like, you can do. Cody Rhodes, like, I'm doing it. Triple H, like, I don't think so, buddy. What about you? Yeah, I think it is amazing how well Cody Rhodes fits in the WWE. Because as a babyface in AEW, he was getting booed out of the building, but as a babyface in WWE, he's so over. And his theme song is so great. You know, the old, whoa! If Brock Lesnar won by technical submission, I think we all could have seen it coming with the broken arm. And of course, Cody Rhodes has his promo where he was willing to fight Brock Lesnar literally anywhere, but I'll do that in my Monday Night Raw review if I do that. I'll just say this here: Cody Rhodes wants to fight Brock Lesnar apparently any U.S. state, any U.S. territory, anywhere in the world, no matter where he is. So, like, if you somehow got in Antarctica, would you fight him there, Cody? Like Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar in an Antarctica death match. Okay, I know that can't be possible, but that would be a great third match in this series. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes in an Antarctica street fight. Oh my God, that would have been amazing. That would be amazing. I don't know how you would pull it off, but somehow, someone please book that. Someone please see if you can book that in 2K. I gotta get a PlayStation to see if I can book that. I gotta get a PlayStation to see if I can book that. That'd be a great match somehow. I don't know how you would get snow there, but maybe I don't know. I don't think that's possible. But if it is, I will find a way. So the main event is the match I'm probably gonna spend the most time talking about because it was a match I was most looking forward to. For the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated the Bloodlines, Roman Reigns, and the Undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, and the Bloodlines Enforcer, Solo Sikoa, with the wise man, Paul Heyman. And Sami and Kevin won, which I don't think anybody was surprised about because I don't think they was going to give Roman four more belts. I don't know. I don't even know how you would carry 6 belts at once. I guess we did see the Ultimate Dragon. What's that guy's name that had those 10 belts with the J Crown and then he won like 2 other belts in WCW? Oh, crap. Ultimate Dragon. Sorry if I butchered that name, but I think that's the guy I'm talking about. The guy that had 10 belts with the J Crown, I think it was Ultimate Dragon, right? Or something. I think it was him. Ultimate Dragon, probably. I think it was, yes. So, this was a great match. Sami Zayn first match in Saudi Arabia, which is for what I think was for personal reasons for him, but I saw the video on it. It was great. I mean, it was a great match, but here we are. It was 26 minutes and 25 seconds. But I think what we are here to talk about with the match is what happened at the end with Jimmy Uso, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get straight to that. So here's what happened. The Usos come down, they beat up people, they move the announce table, they super kick Solo Sikoa. And then Roman gets mad at Jay, claps, puts him in the face like there's no more day one, I'm just the tribal chief. He said something, there's no more day one. And then Jimmy Uso super kicks him, crowd go crazy, I jump up and down, I go, yes, this is awesome. Then my mom goes, Mike, be quiet. My mom goes, be quiet. I'm like, sorry. No, literally, she was like, be quiet. Sorry, Mom, I was excited. She's like, I know, but be quiet, Michael. There are people here. There are people around. People don't want to listen to you yell and scream. So I was so excited. He super kicks him again, and he says, I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago, Jay. And the crowd goes wild. Jimmy Uso's like the biggest babyface in WWE now. So my thoughts on this, I loved it. I was so excited. Like I said, jumping up and down. My neighbors heard us. My mom was like, be quiet. My thoughts on this as a whole, I'm excited. I'm so excited for this. I think Jay should challenge Roman at SummerSlam. I know some people say Money in the Bank and then Jimmy should challenge him at SummerSlam and then Money in the Bank and then Jay challenge him at SummerSlam. I don't know if Jey Uso should challenge Roman Reigns. Like, on the one hand, I get it. Because, Jey Uso is the one who stand by. But I think it would make much more logical sense if it is just Jimmy. Like, put Jimmy in Money in the Bank, have Jimmy Uso win Money in the Bank, and have Jimmy Uso go, you know what? No. I know I could cash this at any time on you, Roman, but no. This is what's going to happen. I'm cashing this in at SummerSlam in Detroit, Michigan on August, I think August 4th, 5th or something. In August, at SummerSlam in Detroit, Michigan, Roman, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank contract for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And I am going to beat you and become the new head of the table, the new tribal chief of our family. Because Jimmy Uso's storyline deserves to be blown off at the... I understand Money in the Bank is now a Big 5 pay-per-view, but let's be honest, out of the all Big 5, it's the smallest of the Big 5 pay-per-views. It's basically King of the Ring, but with some more stakes, basically. I wanted it was supposed to be Night of Champions, but they changed it to Night of Champions. Also, I just love the fact that Night of Champions, WWE Night of Champions, took place at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I was sitting, my cousin and my cousin and the two kids came over, so I was telling him, okay, I gotta go watch WWE Night of Champions. And my cousin just looked at me like, you gotta go watch WWE Night of Champions at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? That kind of seemed weird. I'm like, I know, but that's the name they went with. She just laughed. But this was a phenomenal match. This was a great match, but the ending angle was great too. So let me tell you what my thoughts on this. I think it makes sense because let's think about this. In 2020, when this all started, Jimmy Uso was sidelined with an injury. So Jay was the one who became main event. Jay Uso had the spotlight, but Jimmy was involved, like at Clash of Champions, he was involved. Hell in a Cell was involved. Hell in a Cell was a Hell in a Cell match. A Hell in a Cell I Quit match. Yes, that was a weird thing. Don't understand, don't matter. So that happened. That happened. So Jimmy was put in the commercial for Jay to say I quit. So Jimmy then came back and was against Roman, but then eventually was on his side, which I always thought kind of seemed weird that he just eventually just joined it with no more problems, and they won 10 Time championships. You know, it was a very weird choice, but it was a very odd choice. But okay, but it makes sense now. Jimmy Uso had been waiting this whole time to get revenge, and I was thinking about this more, and it makes sense now why Jimmy Uso was the first one and the easiest one to accept Sami Zayn into the bloodline, and why he was the easiest, why he was the fastest to turn on him too, in a way. Because the story is, I think Jimmy Uso feels that in his own family, that in the bloodline, in his family, he feels like the outsider. And I think the reason why he accepted Sami Zayn so quickly was because Sami Zayn was also an outsider to the bloodline. So Sami Zayn was someone who was even more of an outsider than he was, someone who wasn't blood. So he no longer felt at the outsider. So that's why he made him the honorary youth, because he no longer felt that he was an outsider. You know, because Jay was the white hand man, Paul Heyman was the wise guy, Silver Sikoa was this new monster, was this new enforcer, was this Humaga Whipoff. So I think it's all great storytelling, and quite frankly, this is better storytelling than, you know. This is better storytelling than some soap operas get, especially if you see my Bold and Beautiful review. You know what I feel about that. This is better storytelling. So Jimmy Uso felt like the outsider. And you could see Jimmy Uso slowly cracking, and now Jimmy Uso has snapped. And Jimmy Uso did what Jay should have done. And I love that line from Jimmy. I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago, Jay. So I think that goes to show you that this whole time, Jimmy Uso wasn't on board with the bloodline fully. Like, he was with the bloodline only because he felt that it did help him. But once Jimmy and Jay lost the Undisputed Tag Championship to Sami and Kevin at WrestleMania, Roman started hating on them because they lost. So Jimmy was biding his time, waiting for his moment, and his moment came. Jimmy Uso did what Jay should have done. Jimmy Uso did what Jay should have done maybe in 2020 when this whole thing started. Or when Kevin Owens, all the times Kevin Owens could have beat him in 2020. Or anytime anyone could have beat him and the bloodline helped. It shows Jimmy was conflicted of helping, but was talked into it by Jay, because Jay is crucially loyal to Roman. So this was phenomenal. I don't know what I said, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. And I don't think Jimmy Uso is going to become the new undisputed WWE Universal Champion, because Roman Reigns is now at 1,000 days and 2 days, 1,002 days, 1,003 days. So I think he's going to hold it maybe possibly until WrestleMania 40. I don't think he's going to beat Bruno Sammartino's record, because I don't think anybody is. Will he make it to full? Possibly. Possibly. Other than that, I don't think so. But I don't know what else to say. See that I'm at 30 minutes and 40 seconds, so I don't know what else to say. It was a great show. Out of 1 to 5 stars, I would give this a solid 4.9, because the 3 women's matches didn't really do much for me, but the rest of the card was phenomenal. So that's why I say 4.9 stars. Maybe if the 3 women matches could have been a little bit better, this might have been a 5-star show. But due to that, I would give it 5 stars, and from 1 out of 10, I would give it 4.5 stars. And in a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it a 9.5. I would give it a 9.9. Okay, a 9.5 because it's 3. Okay, a 9.7 because of 3 women matches. A 9.7 weighting and 4.5 stars. I don't have much else to say about the match, except for it was a great match, and I'm going to do Battleground at some point too, and I might do I don't know if I'm going to do Battleground today, possibly tomorrow, just depending on how the rest of the day goes and what else I have to do today. But thank you for watching. Everybody have a wonderful day.